You're watching Barnstable this morning. Joining me this morning for our community profile segment is Julie Wake. Julie was just appointed the Executive Director of the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Very big appointment, a very new direction for you. Let's talk a little bit about your background if we can, and what brought you to this place.
Sure. Well, I recently came from Housing Assistance Corporation as the Director of Development and Communications, and I worked there for almost 5 years. And so I really was exposed to a lot of the nonprofits and got to meet a lot of community members and legislators through that. So I really feel that this is just a great transition over into arts and culture, which is my background and my greatest love.
Yeah, and talk about your background. You really do. You have you went to Mass College of Art and Design, and you have a Bachelor's of Fine Arts.
I do. I studied architecture and environmental design in Boston at Mass College of Art, which is the most amazing school ever. It's one of the last public art schools in the country. So I received a great exposure to all different varieties of mediums of art, and so I have a great love for just, across the board.
And your background largely too professionally, aside from the Housing Assistance Corporation, was largely marketing.
Yes.
So talk to me a little bit about some of your other experiences that you think will really help you in this new role.
Well, I spent quite a bit of time living in Boston and San Francisco working in high tech during the big .com boom until the .com went bust. But during that time, I was exposed to some pretty amazing people and learned a lot of marketing and business development skills, and was able to really do a lot of traveling and really reap the benefits of being around people who are really changing things up. And that was my experience during the .com boom.
Well, let's talk a little bit about what the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod does. What is it there for? Because it really does so much more than just, people, I think when they think of the Arts Foundation, they automatically jump to think about the POPs events in the summer. But the Arts Foundation is so much more than that. Tell me a little bit about what the Arts Foundation does.
So the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod is the voice of the arts. That's the easiest way to describe what we do. And within that, we promote, we advocate, we support artists and arts organizations. We're there to provide advocacy at a state level and a national level. We're there to do some grant making and provide support for new initiatives and ideas and collaborations. And we raise funds to be able to do that. And through those funds, that's through the Pops by the Sea and the Pops in the Park productions, we're able to do that.
Wonderful. I know, too, you guys have a great website, a lot of resources for artists as well as community members who may be looking for something to do to take advantage of some of the cultural happenings across the Cape. So you guys actually have a really great website, too, that has a bunch of events, cultural events listed all over the Cape. So artists who are members have the ability to post their events, and it's a really great resource, not only for artists, but also for those of us living in the community.
That's right. It's called artscapecod.org, and it is essentially a portal for all the arts and culture that happen on the Cape. You can find anything, anytime, every single day, something that is going on the Cape. And as we all know as Cape Codders, that arts and culture is really important to us. We're inspired by the beauty of Cape Cod every day, and so we have these great organizations and individual artists really creating this access to see what they're doing. So I really would encourage people to log on to artscapecod.org to see that. We're kind of putting some extra effort into artscapecod.org. We're going to be relaunching it in November, and so you'll be able to customize searches, and really it will be beyond just a list of things to do. It's going to have a little more power behind it, so you can really customize it. If you wanted to see something that was kid-friendly, that would come up, versus if you want to go see some theater.
Wonderful. So exciting. And I think it's so important for us locals because a lot of people have this impression that over the winter there's nothing to do, which is just not the case. So finding those things that are happening is so important, and keeping that culture going, because as we know, arts can be a really big boon for the economy. If art events can draw a lot of people, which then spills over to restaurant use and shopping even. So it really does play a part with our economy.
It does. The creative economy makes a big impact on the things that we do here. We work closely with the chambers, all the chambers on the Cape, to really, share ideas and share events so we can all reap the benefits of that. Last night I was with a group of American Bus Association people because they're talking to their customers and trying to get them to come down to the Cape and enjoy the beauty and the culture that we have to offer here.
Yes, so awesome. Talk to me a little bit about the goals you have for the future. You've just taken on this huge role. I know there's a huge learning curve when you take on a new role, but what do you see at this point that you'd like to maybe institute or change, or how would you grow the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod?
Well, to me, collaboration is number one. We really need to work more with other agencies, other foundations, other individuals to really connect with what's going on. There's nothing worse than the same, two different organizations doing the same thing. So we really, as the ED at the Arts Foundation, that's my job, to really make sure that that we're all communicating and collaborating to really have the best end result. So that's one of my major goals. The other major goal is to provide more advocacy. I'd love to see several workshops throughout the year that are really helping artists, individual artists and arts organizations really be able to tell their story. So maybe it's, how to write a better press release, how to get recognized, at a state and national level, how to market yourself better, how to mentor each other and collaborate on, small projects that turn into big impact projects. And so those are the things that I'm really excited about, and it's right at my fingertips. It's almost happening right now as we're speaking. So
wonderful, so exciting, and such a necessary thing for artists, because an artist may not have that marketing background and know how to promote that, or may not have the resources or the introductions to some of the people they want to work with. So
that's right.
Really important stuff. Also, the Arts Foundation is really a nonprofit organization. How do you raise money to support all of these efforts?
Well, as you mentioned before, when you say the Arts Foundation, a lot of people think that we're the producers of the Pops by the Sea, and that's all we do. But the Pops by the Sea is actually our major fundraiser. So we produce that enormous event every year in order to be able to fund our grants, do our advocacy outreach, do all kinds of things, provide all kinds of access to arts and culture with our artscapecod.org website. And so the Pops concerts are really important to us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, telling us all about the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod, and loved hearing about your background and where you were before this new position. And again, congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Julie Wake is the Executive Director of the Arts Foundation of Cape Cod. For Barnstable This Morning, I'm Sarah Mannel.